Tune in to Buy Now Sell Now with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me as always is Kanishka Sarkar. In the next 1 hour, we'll be taking all your questions, your stock-related queries, and getting them answered by our experts. But before we get started with all your questions, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up at this juncture. Kanishka, it's another day where we have a very range-bound trade. It's like the large caps are stuck in a range. Very stock-specific moves coming in on the back of earnings and news flow. At this point, I do see, Nifty and both Nifty Bank hovering around the day's lowest point.
That's right, Ankita. Like you mentioned, it's a very lackluster day, though range-bound at this point. But remember, yesterday also around the same time, it was a range-bound day. But we didn't manage to end above that 24,600 level, but we have given up that level. Nifty trading near the day's low point, down about 0.5% at that 24,620 level. Sensex too down about 0.5% at that 80,650 level. Nifty Bank, as you pointed out, is also in the red, down about 0.4% at that 55,420 levels. It's maintaining that. NSE advanced decline ratio, that also remains in the favor of declines. Now, if you take a look at the biggest losers contributing to the losses on the Nifty, some big names like Infosys, BEL, Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, RIL, ICICI Bank. All these are the top Nifty losers, contributing to the maximum gains, limiting any kind of upside on the Nifty. However, the ones that are providing some kind of support include Hindustan Bank, Maruti Suzuki, Bharti Airtel, which is up before its results due later in the day. Other than that, other names like Hero MotoCorp, which had an inline set of numbers when it comes to the monthly auto sales numbers. All these are the ones supporting the Nifty. Sectorally, if we look at the trend, all the sectors, as we said, are in the red except Nifty PSU Bank and Nifty Metal. They are the ones that are holding on to a little bit of shade of green. Other than that, all the sectors are in the red, with Nifty IT and Realty leading losses. A lot of stock-specific action as well. For instance, Hindustan Bank, as we were discussing, is up today as the street has given up a thumbs up as the bank has appointed Rajiv Anand as the MD and CEO of the company. Triveni Turbine, that's down after reporting a weak quarterly earnings. Paytm, that too on the back of that anticipated block deal. Other than that, Bosch is down after a weak quarterly result as well. So that's how the market is looking like. A lackluster day, but a lot of stock-specific action is what we are seeing, Ankita.
Right. Let's get on board our guests for today then. Rajesh Agarwal is the head of research, AUM Capital, and Lakshmika Shukla, technical analyst, Research, Yes Securities India. Thank you so much. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for joining us on the show. Rajesh, let me come to you first on the fact that the biggest thing that we're watching out for, that is on everyone's radar, is the MPC meet outcome. Now, while we were expecting the RBI to maintain a status quo, there's a growing clamor of a 25 bips rate cut that might come. Now, the thing is that the market is not really picking up a direction. It is still within a tight range. It's not giving any big moves either because of tariff uncertainty or on the back of results. No big moves coming in there. So in that sense, we are kind of holding fort as well. But do you think should there be a rate cut tomorrow, that could provide a positive trigger for the market to move up?
Good morning, Ankita. Good morning, Kanishka. Good morning, Lakshmika. I don't think even if there is a rate cut, although we do not believe that there might be any rate cut, we believe that the rates are likely to be unchanged at 5.8. There would be more focus on inflation and growth forecast amid external risks like US tariff. And even if there is a 25 BPS rate cut, which some of the participants of the street are expecting, I don't think there would be major move, except for the fact that there might be move into some of the PSU banks, and that would be short-lived. Because more than rate cuts or anything else, what is happening at this point of time is global noise. There is a lot of global noise, and that is the reason the entire market, not only in India, but also other countries also, they are into uncertain mode. They are doing lackluster. It's at this juncture, I think one should stay focused on fundamentals and look beyond short-term volatility, because in this week only you have 800 plus company results, you have 12 IPOs. So this is the kind of scenario of the market. Now, crude is at a lower levels, rupee has weakened, dollar index is moving up. So a lot of things governing the market rather than only RBI. So what I mean to say is one should take this kind of downticks as an opportunity to accumulate good quality stocks for long term.
All right, so you could use this opportunity as a good time to accommodate good quality stocks. That's the view coming from Rajesh. But then let's get started with all the queries. Then requesting our viewers to share your stock-related queries on WhatsApp. The number is flashing on your screen. Do write to us to get investment analysis on your holding and tips for fresh buys in the market. So write to us ASAP. Don't forget to mention the name of the stock, your name, your query, the buy price of your stock, and the holding horizon that you're looking at. So let's get started with all the queries. Then, Rajesh, the first question is coming for you. Now, this is Bankim writing from Mumbai. He is looking to invest long-term 1 lakh rupees in Oracle Finance and Siemens India. Well, he has 3 questions, whether or not these are good stocks to buy. Secondly, if you could help us understand why they have seen a downtick in the recent past. And do you expect a further downside in these particular stocks?
See, taking one by one, as far as Oracle is concerned, we all know that IT is facing problems because of US issues. People are talking of low order intakes and all those things, but for longer term horizons, large cap names like Infosys, TCS, or even Oracle or LTI, Mindtree, these are good names. If you are willing to hold for maybe 12 to 18 months, I think decent return can be expected. In the short term, yes, there are a lot of worries about order intakes and US slowdown and other things. So keep your horizon a little longer and you can invest. The other one is Siemens. Siemens, as we have seen that because of capex slowdown being done, all these companies, be it ABB or Siemens or Cummins, all of them have seen a downtick. The commentary for ABB was very bad, and that speaks about the volumes about the short-term phenomena of the entire capital goods industry. But going forward, I think these companies are going to do well because of the kind of balance sheet they have, kind of execution capabilities, the kind of order inflows, and we should not forget that. Although private government capex and private capex are going to start in the near future, and these are going to add to these companies' numbers in a very big way. So both of them are a buy from our side at this point of time. But only thing is you have to keep your horizon 12 to 18 months.
So these stocks should be held for at least 12 to 18 months, according to Rajesh, and therefore they might turn out to be a good buy. But moving on to the next question, this is coming in from Dr. Zeenat Kausar, who's writing in from Jharkhand. She wants to invest 1 lakh rupees. Could you enlighten with some stocks which have zero debt equity ratio for medium or long term? Rajesh, I don't know if this is the right metric to really gauge a good stock, but she wants to invest 1 lakh rupees. What would be your recommendation?
Basically, what he is trying to ask is a debt-free company, if I'm not wrong, right? One can go for ITC, one can go for HUL. Both are debt-free company doing very well in their fields. If you talk ITC, their balance sheet is very strong. Cigarette volumes are going up. They are doing big in FMCG. Cash-rich company, debt-free, giving out good dividends. The dividend yield is also good. So one can have a look at ITC. And other, as I called HUL, it's a market leader in FMCG, more than 50% share in soaps and detergents. Revenue from beauty segments is very good, where the margins are very high. Their 19 products are such that they are generating 1,000 crore revenue. So that's the kind of numbers HUL is giving out. And at these levels, I think the valuation of both the companies are quite exciting. So if you have a time horizon of 1 year, 2 year, you can invest in these companies which are stable and long-term good companies.
All right, so that's the view. But moving on, Lakshmikant, now coming to you, we have a viewer, Venkat Ramani, who's writing from Bangalore. He wants to know your view on NATCO. He has 120 shares at a price of 950 rupees. He wants to know whether he should sell at this juncture or add more, say, for a period of 15 months. What does the chart check suggest?
Chart suggests that still this stock is hovering below all its key moving averages, although we have seen some sort of rebound in the steady sessions, but while moving on the upside, still it has to cross many hurdles near the zone of 985 to 1000 zone. So till it hold below this level, our view will negative, and if it reaches its support of 900, then we could see further decline. I think then after it could slip lower toward the levels of 860 to 840 zone. Then after we should revisit this stock again. Then after we could recommend for the buying. But for the current price, I think he should wait for the dip toward the levels of 860 to 840, and I think that would be the good level for taking long in it.
All right, but before we get going with all the other questions, let's focus on this news flow that's coming in. The 10 days after carrying out raids at Anil Ambani group of companies, which went for 3 days, business tycoon Anil Ambani is expected to join the investigations today. And my colleague Ankur Mishra is now joining us with more details on that growing story. Take it away, Ankur.
Yes, investigative agency ED has asked Anil Ambani to appear in person, and that may happen in Delhi today. Remember, there were raids which were conducted on Anil Ambani group companies earlier, and ever since that has happened, there was a summon which was sent to Anil Ambani for personal appearance, and we understand that it might happen in the second half today. Now, this case pertains to more than 10 years old in Yes Bank matter, whereby the questions are raised regarding the loans of more than 3,000 crore. And remember, banks have tagged the account as fraud, and not only that, they've named Anil Ambani in person by State Bank of India. And after that, even the investigative agencies have come into action, and they are probing the matter. And now Anil Ambani has been called in person for the same. Remember, these loan activities, the transactions are related to 2017 to 2019, and already banks have provided for the loans which granted to these companies, but now investigative agencies wants to pertain whether or not it was a fraud. There has been releases by Reliance Infra, Reliance Communications, stating that these cases which are more than 10 years old does not have any material impact on the company currently. But for now, we understand that investigative agencies ED have asked Anil Ambani to appear in person.
All right, thank you, Ankur, for taking us through that latest update. So Anil Ambani is going to join the investigations of ED. But on that note, we'll take a very short break. Be right back with more on the other side.
And our cell now, where we are getting all your stock-specific questions answered by our experts. The number is flashing on top of your screen. Please keep sending in your queries, your buying price, your holding period, and your question, and we'll get them answered by our experts who have joined us. So let's get going with all the questions then. This one's coming from Reshma Bhatia, who's writing in. She says she wants to know about Hindustan Copper. Is it worth buying for a longer period of time? Rajesh, let me come to you for Hindustan Copper. Is this a good bet for the next, say, 1 to 2 odd years?
Of course, it's a good bet. The kind of consumption up move it's seeing in the copper industry as such, be it EV, be it electrical wires and other things, I think copper is going to be the next in thing going forward. For longer term horizon, the valuations are also good, gives out good dividend, has strong reserves, metals with the company. I think one can go long on Hindustan Copper. For a 1 year time horizon, a decent return of 15 to 18% is quite possible.
Forgot to ask you, she's also asked another question on Hero Moto. She wants to know, she's holding Hero Moto at a buying price of 4,378. She wants to know if she should hold it or should she sell it at this juncture. Hero Moto, there is, Rajesh, what will be your call for Hero Moto?
See, after a long period of lull, we have seen some amount of traction coming in the auto numbers, especially Hero Motor. The numbers have been good. And with the kind of monsoon winds we have witnessed in the marriage season and the festival season going ahead, I think the next 2-3 months, the rural numbers are going to be good. Hero being a major presence holder, having a major presence in rural areas, I think the valuations are also exciting at this point of time. A target of 5,000, 5,200 is quite possible in the next 6 to 9 months. One can continue to hold.
Okay, so you could continue to hold Hero Moto. But Lakshmikant, now coming to you, we have a query on iRadar. This viewer, Lakmi Narayana from Trivandrum, says they have 292 shares of iRadar at a price of 245 rupees. They've been holding it for the past 100 days. What would you suggest? Should they average at this juncture or continue to hold for some improvement?
See, from last few weeks, this stock has been declining with the formation of lower tops and lower bottom. And still, we have not seen any kind of respite or we can say reversal kind of move at current juncture. So overall sentiment looks bearish till it hold below the levels of 160 to 165 range, and any decisive move below the levels of 140 could induce more selling pressure toward the levels of 138 to 135 range. So I think there would be some other good stock in which he can invest, and according to me, one should avoid to invest it at current prices.
All right, so it's an avoid on iRadar at current prices. But moving on to the next question, this is Surendra who's writing in. He wants to know, is it a good time to enter Axis Bank share from a long-term perspective? The long-term perspective is from 3 to 5 years. Rajesh, just today, in fact, we have had a note from Morgan Stanley on Axis Bank where they're maintaining an overweight on the counter, and they feel that post quarter two, perhaps they expect all three, all the key drivers to turn positive for Axis Bank. Would you be incrementally positive on Axis Bank?
Yes, we are positive on Axis Bank, no doubt on that. The second quarter numbers were good. And going forward, I think all the issues have been taken care of. Valuation are exciting. But for a 5-year time horizon, why not go for HDFC Bank, which is better placed than what Axis Bank is at this point of time? Considering the fact that it's one of the 8 largest bank across the world, the kind of merger it has seen, and IMs are good. It's only a matter of time when the optics starts taking place. So, in my view, both of the counters, maybe Axis or HDFC, are good. One can even go for a 50% amount in HDFC and 50% in Axis.
All right, so that's how you could place your bets in the financial space. But Rajesh, another query coming for you. This is Ayush writing. He wants to know at what price point should one keep adding to L&T Finance and Indian Hotels for the long term?
Talking of long term, I don't think price point makes a difference because you never know when what would be the ideal point when will we stop moving up or stop going down. So rather than going for a lump sum buying, one can go for a staggered when L&T Finance, after a long period of time, it started performing on the bosses. That despite the fact that the balance sheet is strong, they have restructured their businesses. And at this point of time, I think 250 to 60 would be a decent target for the next 18 to 24 months. And Indian Hotel, as such, we have seen hospitality industries doing very well. Taj Group having a very good brand name, not only domestic, but they have a few international players also that are doing very well. So all in all, both are very good stocks for long term, and one can go long on that.
Right, moving on then to the next question. Lakshmikant, let me come to you for this one. This is Lakmi Narayana who's writing in from Trivandrum. He says that he holds 80 shares of Cochin Shipyard at a buying price of 2,127, and he's been holding it for the last 70 days. He wants to know how can he average in and at what levels can he average in? Lakshmikant, on Cochin Shipyard, and what are the targets that you would set for Cochin?
At current level, the stock has not formed any kind of price pattern from where we can give some target. But looking at the structure, I think there is some more correction would be possible toward the levels of 1600 to 1610 zone, where it's 200 TMA is placed. So if any kind of recovery is seen or any kind of reversal pattern is formed around the zone of 1600 to 1610, then after we could see some sort of opportunity. Otherwise, our view will be bearish till it hold below the levels of 1870, and probably it could move lower for retesting at 200 DMA, which is placed around the zone of 1600 to 1610.
Okay, so that's the view on Cochin Shipyard. But moving on, this viewer Venkat Ramana from Reddy, who's writing from Hyderabad, he wants an opinion on Britannia. He has 15 shares at of Britannia at an average price of 4,165. He wants to know whether or not these are it's worth buying more at this juncture and continue to hold for the long term. He needs a fundamental advice, Rajesh.
See, strong company, good brands, having a good market share, but from the last 2-3 quarters, we have seen that the numbers have been not that exciting because of margin pressures on raw material side. But with inflation cooling down, I think these things will be taken care of in the coming quarters. If I'm not wrong, the results are due today, so wait for the numbers. But for longer term horizon, I think it's a good buy. So any tip should be taken as an opportunity to accumulate.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we come back and we start taking your questions again. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to ET Now. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Kanishka Sarkar and Ankita Saxena, a show where we're taking all your stock-specific queries with our experts. Let's get back to all the queries then. Now we have a query coming on Coal India. This is SK Sarn writing from Bangalore. Rajesh, could you help us understand what is your view on Coal India? The viewer wants to know what's a good entry price and whether or not he can continue to hold for a longer term.
See, has the largest coal reserves across the world, doing very well, gives out good dividend. Dividend yields is in the range of 6 to 7%. Debt-free company doing very well with the kind of power shortage we are witnessing, where I think coal output is going to increase in the near future. And not to forget, the company is moving into renewable energy too. So all in all, it's a very good company for long term. One can continue to hold for maybe a 15 to 16% CAGR return into next 2-3 years. So it's a buy from our side. A good level to enter would be around 350 rupees.
All right, so that's the view coming in on India. But let me come to you, Lakshmika, and this is Divya who's writing in. She says, firstly, she says that she watches Buy Now, Sell Now regularly, and this show has helped her a lot. So thank you so much, Divya, for showing faith in us. But she's asking about, she wants to know if she can add PNB Housing Finance, which is, of course, we at this current level, after the resignation, it was down and out in trade. So are these good? Is it a good level to enter? Lakshmika, PNB Housing Finance, in fact, if you see in the last just 5 days, it is down almost 22%. In fact, it has been down and out almost 1 month. It's been down almost 30% cuts coming in on PNB Housing Finance. And today also we had a note by Goldman Sachs that says that there is a potential almost 78% upside on PNB Housing Finance, especially at current levels. Would you suggest this is a good entry point for her?
So see, after making the top near the levels of 1,140, the stock has seen sharp decline, move on the downside. Now it is started hovering below its 20, 100 and 50-day moving averages. So probably it could slip lower toward the levels of 740 to 745. So that would be the baseline, or we can say that this is the neckline of that double top pattern which has formed on the weekly chart. So I think that would be the testing level for this PNB Housing Finance. If it able to hold the levels of 740 to 745, and then after it has made any bullish kind of formation, so I think that would be the good level to make entry in this stock, whereas we could see a good risk and reward ratio from there. But at current levels, I think some more dips, some more correction is possible, and it could slip lower toward the levels of 740 to 745.
All right, so more dip and correction likely for PNB Housing Finance. But moving on, let's have this query addressed from Venkat Ramani, who's writing from Bangalore. He has 210 shares of Tata Power at a price of 365 rupees. Lakshmikant, he wants to know your view whether he should continue to hold, add or sell at this juncture. His holding period is 15 months.
See, overall on the weekly chart, the stock has seen rebound after testing its 100-week moving averages which is placed around the zone of 375 to 380, and we would see upside potential in this stock toward the levels of 425 to 430. So, and in yesterday's session, this stock has also formed hammer kind of pattern. So we expect that this pullback move will continue, and probably it could move higher for retesting its previous swing high of 425 to 430. While on the downside, the levels of 370 followed by 360 could act as the strong support for the Tata Power.
Levels to watch out for on Tata Power. But moving on to the next question. This is Mika who's writing in from UAE. She says she's a regular viewer and she wants to know about Garden Reach that she's bought at a buying price of 766. Infosys at a buying price of 1,444. Is it a good time to average any good defense stocks that I could start looking at, Rajesh? Any good defense names? Because defense names have run up quite a bit. Is there a valuation comfort firstly? And as far as Garden Reach and Infosys are concerned, good time to start averaging in, or what would you suggest?
See, I won't recommend averaging both these stocks at this point of time because of the fact that Garden Reach has already run up quite a lot after the Operation Sindoor thing happened. And at this point of time, some amount of correction is quite possible. And once it corrects to maybe around 2,200, 2,300, then one can think of averaging. Infosys, yes, it's a very strong company, no doubt that all the negative news are floating here and then. That's why the valuations are so good. But at this point of time, I think one should avoid IT names as such unless and until one is ready to hold for a long period of time. If one is ready for a long period of time, Infosys, TCS, LTI, Mindtree, these are some good names which can be held for a longer period of time. As far as defense stocks are concerned, I think BEL, BEML, these are some of the names which one can have a look upon, considering the fact that they have good order book. Government's focus on indigenization of defense. The way geopolitical tensions are going across the world, I won't be surprised if these companies start getting international orders too. So these are some of the good names which can be held for a long period of time.
All right, so those are the names you could focus on in the defense and IT spaces. But Lakshmikant, now coming to you, we've already gotten Rajesh's view on the defense pack. But question here for you. This is Sri writing from Bangalore. She wants your short-term view for a 2 to 3 month period. She's holding 1,000 shares of BEL at a price of 400 rupees. She wants to know whether she should add more at the current juncture or average at this point.
BEL has seen rebound after making a short-term bottom near the levels of 370 to 375 zone, and from there we have seen a pullback move in the stock, and it has also started hovering near its 23.6 Fibonacci retracement of its prior upward rally. So I think any decisive move to the levels of 390 to 395 could bring more buying momentum in this stock. So I think that would be the good level. If it crosses the levels of 395 on a closing basis, then after he can initiate long position and can expect upside move toward the levels of 440. So that would be the expected target. While on the downside, the levels of 360 could provide a strong support for the BEL.
Those are the levels for BEL. But moving on to the next question, and this question is coming in from Bharatwaj from Coimbatore. He says he has 370 shares of Var Beverages at an average buying price of 633 rupees. He wants to know if he can buy more at current market price, and also he's looking to holding it for the next 2 to 4 years. Lakshmikant, firstly, is this the right time to enter Var Beverage? Because Var Beverage has corrected fair bit actually, but can he enter at this current level? And would it be what do you see on the charts for Var Beverage, say for the next 1 or 2 years?
A few days back, the stock has given a strong breakout above its double bottom pattern, and then we have seen sharp upside momentum toward its 100 DMA. But even at current levels, we look traction in this stock until it hold up the levels of 470 to 480 zone, where positive crossover has been witnessed from the averages of 20 and 50 DMA, which is showing in this counter. So I think till it hold above this level, we could see upside move. Immediate upside hurdle is seen near the levels of 535 to 540 zone, where it's 200 DMH placed. After surpassing it, I think we could see further upside momentum in this stock toward the levels of 540 to 550. So I think that would be the good level because risk reward ratio is looking favorable. So he can go long even at current prices also.
Okay, so that's the view on Var Beverages. But moving on, let's take stock of how the capital sector, capital goods sector is also doing. Now, this is Rema writing from Palakkar. She has 235 shares of Siemens at a price of 3,085 rupees. Rajesh, what would your view be? Should she continue to hold at this price, or she should move to some other stock? And also, if you could give us what's your view on the capital goods sector, given that we had ABB India's earnings over the weekend, and it was a rather weak set of numbers coming in.
See, I agree the numbers were pretty weak this quarter, and especially the commentary part from the ABB was quite disappointing. But going forward with the kind of capex going on, not only in private but public sector too, we think capital goods are going to do well. And not to forget, these companies have very strong balance sheet. They have very good order book and the execution capabilities that these companies have. As far as Siemens is concerned, it's a very good buy from our side for a long-term horizon. One can add on dips, I would say, or rather go for a staggered buy, but keep a horizon of more than 12 to 18 months and keep buying for a decent return expectation. I think Siemens is a good buy. Not only Siemens, you have likes of Cummins, too doing very well.
Capital goods sector. But on that note, we'll take a very short break. Be right back with more of your queries to be answered on the other side.
Is Kanishka Sarkar, and we are getting all your stock related questions answered by our experts. The number is flashing on top of your screen. Keep sending in your questions. Let's resume with all the questions then. This one's coming from Sonu from Bangalore. Sonu says that he has 1,000 shares of Canra Bank at an average price of 105 rupees. He's been holding it for about 6 odd months. Do you think it can? I can hold it for another year for good returns? Rajesh, let me come to you for this one. Canra Bank, should he be holding it on for another 6 months, or what would be the time horizon you would recommend for Canra?
See, the entire PSU basket is looking very exciting, considering the fact that RBI has gone for 2-3 rate cuts in the recent past, infused liquidity. A lot of people are expecting again a rate cut going forward. So it's just a matter of time when rate of rates start taking place. And these rate cuts are going to help these banks report good numbers because of their bond portfolios. Numbers have also been good. Balance sheet has been up. Asset quality has been improving for all of them. I think Canara Bank is one bank, one of those banks which can do very well. So one can continue to hold. If somebody is looking for a fresh purchase, I think SBI or a Bank of Maharashtra would be a better choice. So we are bullish on the entire PSU basket, but we are recommending SBI and Bank of Maharashtra at this point of time.
Okay, so those are the ones to track in the banking space. But moving on, next query is coming for the metal space. Now, Rajesh, this viewer, KB Rao from Hyderabad, he's been holding NMDC Steel shares, 3,000 shares at a price of 37. Should he add more at this current juncture? He intends to hold the stock for a period of about 1 year.
To continue to hold NMDC Steel or buy new, because there were a lot of talk of disinvestment in the past, but then the denial came from the government that there is no disinvestment in the near future. So the entire charm of holding this stock has gone. The numbers have not been that exciting. So it's better to go to some better names. For example, Jindal Steel and Power is doing very well, where one could have a look on. Even SAIL or Tata Steel are better bets than going for NMDC Steel. So these are some of the names which one can buy new or switch from NMDC Steel to these names.
All right, so that's NMDC Steel. Moving on to the next question. This is coming in from Ankita Sharma, who's writing in from JNK. She wants to know, she's bought Wipro at a buying price of 302 rupees, and she's bought Tata Motors at 713. She's currently sitting at a loss on Tata Motors. What should she do now? Hold or exit? Lakshmika, let me come to you for this one. At least as far as the fundamentals are concerned, it doesn't really look very good for Tata Motors, because especially on because of the benign environment and also the commentary that's coming in on Tata Motors. But Tata Motors and Wipro, what would be your view and what are the levels to watch out for?
The Tata Motor already has given closed below its previous swing low, and it has been forming multiple bearish candle on the daily chart. There is only upcoming support is seen near the levels of 640 to 645. So that would be the upcoming support levels. If it able to hold this level, then probably it could see some sort of pullback move toward the levels of 690 to 700. But major upside move will be unlikely till it hold below this level of 700. And if it reaches the levels of 640, then further correction could be possible in Tata Motor toward the levels of 600. So our view will be bearish in Tata Motor. However, if we talk about Wipro, so Wipro has seen some sort of stability in yesterday's sessions, and it has formed a bearish bullish piercing line candlestick pattern on the daily chart. So if it able to retain the levels of 240, then I think some sort of pullback move could be expected toward the levels of 260 to 265 range. So I think Wipro, she can hold with the stop loss of 235 on the downside and can expect pullback move toward the levels of 260.
All right, so those are the levels to track for Wipro and Tata Motors. But that's all the time we have to address our viewers' queries today. Thank you so much, Rajesh and Lakshmika, for joining us and helping our viewers address their queries. On that note, we'll let you go. Well, let's shift focus then. And ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow is back with season 13. Yes, this is India's longest running television show dedicated to MSMEs. And this season, Leaders of Tomorrow is spotlighting the spirit of Indian entrepreneurs through the theme Agility, Ambition, Ascent, and witness how bold visionaries are adapting to change and reaching new heights. So don't miss Leaders of Tomorrow season 13 starting today, Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m. only on ET Now.
In today's world, businesses navigate invisible systems. Markets shift like shadows. Uncertainty coded into every move. This isn't a glitch, it's the new normal. But a few, they see the code. They know agility isn't a strategy, it's survival. Ambition isn't ego, it's fuel. Ascent isn't linear, it's exponential. They don't wait for certainty, they move through chaos. They become the disruptors. IDFC First Bank presents ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow, Season 13.
Presented by IDFC First Bank, always you first.
Right, it is time to wind down on this edition of Buy and Sell Now. Kanishka and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in.